Welcome to 30 and Rising, a podcast brought to you by Barcelona Creative Group. Barcelona Creative Group is a brand and marketing agency specializing in building brands inside and out. In our 30 and Rising podcasts, we discuss marketing strategies and opportunities, as well as how we help organizations large and small achieve their marketing and business goals. And because Barcelona Creative Group is a family business celebrating our 30th year in business, we try to keep it real and have some fun along the way.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's 30 and Rising podcast. I'm Juli Barcelona, and again, I'm one of your co-hosts for today's podcast. Cate is joining me again today. Say hi, Cate.
Hi, everyone.
So much like our last podcast where we talked about Amazon, we are going at this virtually. So we're glad that you could be here with us today and listen in on this podcast. Cate, what are we talking about today?
Well, we've been talking a lot about, even for our own agency, but for our clients, how do you make the holiday effort this year? As a corporation, inside your organization with your employees and externally too with your clients. This is definitely just a different year, and a lot of offices are not together in the same space. A lot of them are still working remote and, maybe not seeing your clients as much in person. Maybe it's been more virtual or over the phone. And so, we can relate ourselves that this is a unique challenge this year for some, for a lot of organizations.
Yeah, this topic today I think is a little bittersweet because normally around this time, for our agency, we would be talking about what we're going to do as a team to celebrate the holidays and, what kind of gifts are we going to think about sending out this year. And now it's just, most of the clients may or may not be even in their offices to receive those. And, as a team, we're in and out of the office as well. So it's just, as much as I enjoy the holidays and this time, it's just going to be such a different year in so many ways. But we wanted to be able to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that you can do to continue to strengthen your brand, both within your organization for your people and outside of the organization, with clients or contacts, because I think they're still extremely important. And no matter the circumstances, there are always ways that you can continue to boost that brand power and continue to motivate and just be there for your people, which is, going to be really important, I think, this year, even maybe more so than in years prior.
Right. Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah. So, we've been talking with clients who are putting holiday efforts into play. Last year at this time, it was so fun. We were helping one of our clients plan their big all-employee Christmas party, and it was the biggest Christmas party that they had in a few years. And so, I don't think we'll be seeing days like those this year, but
right.
There are still some things that you can do and that clients are doing it. I think, one of those that is still really feel good approach is to consider some sort of end of year, State of the Union, recap of some kind message from, the CEO or the leadership team. I think it's really still important for all of the employees to be able to hear from and hear from that leadership team at that level. And some might call it kind of like a highlight reel, but there's just lots of ways that between pictures and video and podcasts and audio that, you can still get these messages out to your entire employee base and still end the year on a positive note, focused on the positive things that have happened in 2020.
Right.
I don't know.
It's something it's something that can be done in different ways. So, whether you want to actually have a live stream going on and people are watching whoever speak, that's an option. Or if you feel more comfortable pre-recording it in a video or just an audio, setting, then those are both options as well. So it really gives you the chance to, take the time and think about what you might want to say, have it scripted out. People are, better or worse live or better record, when they have the practice and the time to spend on it. It's just everyone's different. So there are different ways to get it done.
Yeah. And I think, if we talk a little bit about virtual events, I'm sure there's lots of opportunities for different virtual events. I mean, we might all be kind of zoomed out at this point, but still a lot of different options to either celebrate together, with small groups. Maybe it's a specific team that has their own virtual event, like a happy hour, or I don't know. We were talking about a few different ways. There's a couple apps that you had mentioned, Kate. You want to maybe mention those again?
Yeah, sure. Possible virtual events. You can have a virtual cocktail or happy hour. There's a couple of apps that I've used over the pandemic with friends, or we've used as an agency, but House Party is one of them, very similar to Jackbox, which is basically you play games with each other, you virtually using a mobile device for the most part, or an iPad. Those are just fun ways to interact with your employees in a totally different way than just getting on the Zoom call. It's interacting and having some laughs and having some fun. And so those are always good options. And, we've even, thrown out the ideas of, having all or certain employees participate in a virtual class on, how to make a particular drink, or a cocktail recipe, or even a food recipe. Instead of your potluck, maybe you all hop on a virtual call and a couple people walk through a recipe, or you spend time together just chatting while you're cooking. Just some outside the box things that we've kind of thrown around here.
Yeah, and I mean, we've even attended virtual events where part of that event included like a virtual DJ style event where you actually hire a magician or a DJ of some kind to host an event with, for and with your people. And so, that might be a good, fun way to do something different and be able to put together an event where your entire staff or, can participate and take part in something fun as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like what you said before too about the highlights reel of, a lot of people have been working from home. So, it would be kind of cute to have sort of like the best of 2020 where employees can send in pictures of, things they've done to their homes or things they've done with their families or whatever, just pictures of them spending more time on the things that they're not always normally home to spend time on, just kind of like a reel of photos.
Yeah. And I mean, even, things that the organization has accomplished over 2020. I mean, we were talking about the idea of considering a fundraiser or a donation, doing that as an organization this year as in place of your holiday party or in place of holiday gifts. And, I think organizations have probably been doing things like that all along the way. I mean, I know we have some examples of what some of our clients have done and things that we've seen. And so, there's pictures, I'm sure, of things like that can be part of a highlights reel. Even selfie videos. At first during the pandemic, when we were all home, you saw a lot of commercials that were made sort of in that format, in place of, commercials that I'm sure were going to be made in other ways at the time. So, there's lots of opportunities to get creative with accumulating those assets for some kind of highlight reel.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off the fundraising or making a donation as a company suggestion. There's several different ways to do this. And, during these times, especially, I think it's, corporate social responsibility has been a hot topic in the past. And I think it's even, during these times, it's great to show that involvement in, your community, or just getting involved in, supporting a charity or encouraging others to do so as well. And if you have, if you're fortunate enough to have the extra budget to match any donations, that's fantastic. Something like if I've for every dollar donated by your employees, your brand would then match that donation. It can be done with your customers. It could be done with your social media followers as well. Don't rule out the possibility of doing a virtual event too, to kind of either host a fundraiser or celebrate the donation that has been acquired and made. So, obviously the holidays are always a great time to get in the giving spirit. Giving Tuesday is always the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, which this year it'll fall on December 1st. And that really just started out as something, just a simple idea, that it was really just like everybody just try to make somebody smile or help a neighbor out. And it turned into this massive movement. And it's now like a global movement of people and organizations really trying to make an impact on their communities, and, give in small ways, give in big ways, give financially, just give their time, whatever it may be. So that's, a good thing to play off of. It's a popular hashtag. You can always find out more information at givingtuesday.org. Some of our clients, do things like this on a monthly basis. And, one idea, a virtual idea, is that we actually had a local client do a virtual food drive for the Greater Chicago Food Depository. And, for every dollar that the employees donated, the client matched that. And the way that, the depository works is it fundraises in meals. So for every dollar, you provide 3 meals, and they just had an outstanding participation level. I just through the roof of what they were actually expecting, because I really think that this year people are in that mood, that mindset of wanting to help, wanting to, give what they can and try to uplift each other, because everybody is in the same boat and going through this, similar situations and similar moods. And that was just a really great thing they did. They also, you can do a GoFundMe page for any charity, really, and have the employees be able to, or whoever you wanted to, just be able to hop online and click a link and donate right there. And it's a very easy way to give back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And, you've seen a lot of the schools that might typically have done golf outings, or, like our school, for example, holds a gala every year. And of course, this year that's not going to happen. So this move to, virtual days of giving, or in some cases, making a whole week-long event out of giving. I think, we've seen some tremendous success with these fundraising efforts, because I just think, like you said, everybody is, in whatever way that they can. We all know that everybody needs a little extra help this year. And I think people have been coming together and really rallying around how can you help. And I know we'll talk about, local or small businesses in another episode coming up. And so, we could go on and on about things like that. So we'll try, hold some of those for the next podcast. But yeah. And another thing I thought was really interesting, I had seen an idea about, brands kind of setting up a hotline. And I know, we think about online chat a lot, where there's a chat feature on your website, so that, especially like in times like these, when the workday is no longer 9 to 5 for a lot of people, it gives you that 24-hour access to be able to answer questions or direct people in the right way. But this hotline I thought was a really interesting idea, because it's something where you don't just have to use it for customers. You can set up a hotline for your employees, for your people, just to have a place to go to ask their own questions about, things going on this year, or just have that outlet to turn to. So I think those are things that can be used for clients, for customers, but I think if done, creatively, they can also be things that are turned inside the organization and set up and used as helpful tools and support aids for your people as well. So I thought that was a really cool idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And I mean, obviously, and so many more people are spending, time online, and that's just a making your brand more accessible to everybody.
Yeah. So another thing that we haven't talked about yet that, I'm a huge fan of, and I always think you can have a lot of fun with, are just swag bags. And I think, it's really easy to think that, well, what are our employees going to do with another t-shirt, or, do we really need to send pens out to everybody? But I think that there's some really creative ways to put together a swag bag, and maybe it's, focused around that virtual event that you're going to have. So if you are going to kind of go all out and do a virtual holiday event or party, and there's things that people would need to attend that party, like a cup or a mug, or or maybe a special t-shirt for that particular party. Maybe there's a theme, there's so many different things that you could find, some fun things to still kind of say goodbye to 2020 in a fun way, and get those branded apparel, or, branded wearables and products out to your people, because maybe they do just need to be reminded at this, end of the year phase, what your organization has to offer, and just the fun things that you can come up with that they can wear at home. Even if they're wearing them at home, they're still wearing your brand. So
yeah, and everyone loves free stuff, and a nice little touch would be to have, to possibly hand deliver that stuff, if that's an option, by a manager, by a member of the leadership team, or even an employee who's willing to do that, and just drop it on people's doorsteps, or whatever you need to do to make it work. And we talked a lot about, this year being a unique thing where you can't just ship out your gift to the offices, or, the locations on your list. A lot of the offices, people aren't in them. So, you have to think a little differently on how to get items and get gifts to people. And, the option we talked about was, maybe replacing it with, instead of a holiday card being, in the mail, you do it in a nice email blast, or you do a virtual e-card that you can post on your website or post on social media, and, also email it out to your list of contacts. That's something to consider as well. We have several clients that are going to be going that route this year.
Yeah, and a couple that are going to be, recording a holiday message, even using the podcast route, just because it allows each of their team members to give a holiday message to their client base. And so, I think people are just finding ways to get extra creative this year, and still make people feel good. I mean, there have been so many ups and downs of 2020, but at the end of the day, I think, no one could argue that every person hasn't done something above and beyond, or hasn't done something that was a major change to their everyday normal routine. and people are dealing with, so many different things, and things keep changing every day still with the current conditions all over. And so I think, you still want to remember that concept of how can you continue to build your brand inside and out of your organization? How can you continue to, spread that mission and show people in the organization and outside of the organization, what is it that makes your team want to come to work, or virtually come to work every day still, but just remembering at every level too, to just say thank you. Right. So I think some of these little things even just give a better opportunity to actually express that message, right, more so than a holiday card might have done in years past.
Yeah, and we've had clients that we've worked with, starting to ask their employees for some feedback on, what this year has been like, what they're thankful for, what they're grateful for. And a lot of the employees, like, the one thing that they said was just so thankful for the way the employer handled this year and how they've been there for them and helped them, and they're grateful to have a job and grateful to have made it through some difficulties. And I just think, these brands just have to consistently keep their customers and their people top of mind, and keep, stay engaged and keep employees engaged with each other, and just be there and showcase the brand. And
it's kind of like what we call that secret sauce, right? Right. Every organization has culture, and every organization has that secret sauce, that thing that keeps everyone engaged and excited. And I just think, can't forget that. And as we hopefully bring 2020 to a close and look to a more positive 2021, I hope, it's still super important to remember what keeps everyone in your organization engaged and excited, and what people outside the organization see and feel. That's your brand. That's everything your company says and does, and every interaction you have with your people and with your customers. That really is going to be who you are as an organization. Right. So
being there for your employees at this point is really going to be, that you're a brand that they're proud to work with and work for, and proud to go out and talk about, and just be that brand ambassador for your organization. And that's during these times, during this year especially, if you can keep that top of mind and make the effort to keep that going strong, it's gonna go much further.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, if you're looking for ideas for ways that you can help your organization, or help get a message or some kind of fun event still happening for your clients, we're here to help. We have heard, seen, done, and are helping clients with so many of these things right now. And it's not too late. It's not too late to figure out something and get that done before the end of the year. So we're happy to help. You can always reach out to us. Website is barcelonacreative.com. Again, we want to say thank you for listening to this holiday preparation podcast. And, we hope that everybody finds some joy this holiday season and make some room for a little fun and a little holiday cheer in their lives. So thanks again for listening to us today. And until next time, stay creative, everyone.